too sensitive. Stop taking things so personally. This is something that I've heard countless times in my life. And it's something that we get judged by. It's something that we get criticized for. Because with an ADHD nervous system, let's be honest, we are really sensitive. But that sensitivity can be a massive problem, challenge, a weight, a burden, because we live in a world that wasn't made for us. Not only was it not made for us, but we live in a world that is polluted. Noise pollution, air pollution, light pollution, trash all over the place. You know, I'm out here on the beach. It's a windy but beautiful sunny day. And fortunately, there's not too much trash right now. But there is. Kind of like we live in this world where there's so much noise, there's so much energy, there's so much emotion. And there's many reasons why we are more sensitive, why we feel these things more, why we feel the intensity of the world more. And today I want to help you understand why that is. Talk a little bit about why your sensitivity is a tremendous gift, and it's also a defense mechanism. It's something that you developed over time to deal with surviving in this world. So, let's talk about how nervous system sensitivity develops. First and foremost, if you have an ADHD nervous system, then genetically you are more sensitive. You are able to feel, taste, touch more. You have a more open nervous system that is scanning the horizon, that's scanning the energy, the space, the environment around you in order to understand where you are, to survive, to see opportunities, to identify threats. Because we have this old nervous system that is a genetically inherited nervous system, by the way. And if you are watching this and you have ADHD, question for you, if you don't know already, is which one of your parents has ADHD? Because you got it from somewhere. But it's a nervous system that is evolved to and adapted to an environment where being able to spot prey or resources from the distance or in a dense environment, jungle, desert, mountains, whatever it is, was an advantage. But let's talk about beyond the nervous system. Because yes, we are wired to sense more. Yes, we are wired to feel more. But so many people asked me, yesterday I was hosting a workshop, and it was a key question that somebody had, which is, why are ADHD people so sensitive? And I knew that he was talking more about emotional sensitivity and energetic sensitivity. And I said, look, I wish I could tell you that, it's a magic gift that we chose. We decided to come to this planet and be energetically sensitive and emotionally sensitive. And that's why we developed this skill. But truth is actually more than that. It's a little bit sadder than that, which is that you grew up in a world that wasn't made for you. You grew up in a world that was designed for the industrialized brain, for the neurotypical brain, which is a shit term, but we'll use it because that's what people are understanding. But let's say the normal people who have standard attention spans, they can focus for long periods of time, they can sit still, they can focus on complex problems for long periods of time, consistently, day in and day out. And that is an industrialized mind for an industrialized system. But you did not grow up in that, and you never fit in. Even when you tried to fit in, you never fit in. You're always a little different. You moved differently. You spoke differently. You didn't sit still. Maybe your focus was different than the other people, because these are chemical and neurological differences. But what happens is, over time, you stack up so many small comments, negative criticisms, little encounters with the world that say, you don't belong, you're too much, you're too loud, you move too much. And so what we do is we develop an energetic and emotional sensitivity to the people around us. We sense who is kind and loving and sweet, who is compassionate, and we sense who is judgmental and critical. You sense when your mom or your dad is an emotionally open person, when they are in that moment angry or sad or happy, because that's going to greatly affect how you show up and how you speak to them. So if your father in the moment is very irritable and you really need something, you need help, you need support, you need loving, you need care, you probably have learned from a young age not to speak to him in that moment, because your request while he's irritable might have turned out to be something that got you hit, got you yelled at, he snapped at you. It didn't even have to be necessarily very violent, but just that poor reception to your needs being expressed turned into you towards this idea that I need to change the way that I am experiencing, that I act, that I show up. If that person, if my mom, my caretaker, my friend, my brother, my sister is irritable or doesn't have the energy, or they're pissed off or whatever it is, then I need to change the way that I'm behaving. And so we developed this emotional sensitivity because it helped us to survive. It helps us to survive. And you're probably thinking, I look back at my childhood and it wasn't that bad. I wasn't so aggressively bullied, or maybe I wasn't abused as a child in the home. And maybe you weren't, but you still had these tiny little micro interactions where you asking for help, or you wanting a hug, wanting soothing, wanting someone to help co-regulate your nervous system, but not being received well in that moment, contributed to you learning that I need to be tuned into these people's emotions, because if I speak at the wrong time, I will get hurt, I will get hit, I will get punished, I will get judged, I will get shamed. And this stacks up over years and years and years and years. So you become sensitive. You become sensitive, and then you feel the weight of the world. You feel the weight of the contamination and the pollution. You feel the weight of the trauma that so many people are walking around and carrying. But maybe it's too heavy. Did you try to run away from that intensity? Did you try to run away and numb? Maybe try to deal with it in unhealthy ways. Numbing, smoking, drinking, playing video games, screen time, just disappearing, dissociating, completely checking out mentally and emotionally. Like you're there, but you're not really there. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Our sensitivity can be a tremendous gift, and it can be an incredible burden. I was just in Cairo, Egypt, a city of, 26 million people that they count, probably more. But in a city of Cairo where there's 26, let's say 30 million people, there's so much density, noise, chaos, trauma that hasn't been processed, emotions that are being expressed in healthy or unhealthy ways, constantly horns just blaring. It's challenging. And my nervous system evolved for an environment that's probably more like the beach here, right? Calm and peaceful, natural elements. The sun is intense, but it's beautiful. The wind is harsh right now, but it's okay. I can handle that. But Cairo has a different energy. Major metropolitan cities have a different energy. These places have too much stimulus. They have too much energy around us. And it can be very exciting because we're intense people. We like intensity. We thrive in chaos. But chaos is meant to be short term. Chaos is meant to be something that we have to navigate from time to time. It's not meant to be 24/7, 365. And it's when we're exposed to that and we're constantly alert to and aware of all of this intensity that things get a little bit difficult. That sensitivity becomes a burden. Because sensitivity in a small room where you're with a friend and you can look at that friend and say, something feels off. How are you today, really? That's a gift. But when you're in a group of 100 people on a bus and you can feel that so many people are off, but you don't have the energy to deal with it, it's not your responsibility to deal with it, they're not dealing with their own energy, that is too much. That's too heavy. That's a burden. And if you don't know how to deal with that, it will become a weight that you carry and that can break you. It can break you down over time. Like if you're listening to this right now, maybe you have already experienced some form of burnout. Maybe a few types of burnout, where kind of things just crashed and you couldn't quite get yourself moving. I mean, that's why I came out here to the beach this morning. I really just wanted to get up and do a little bit of movement and some breathing exercises. I knew it was going to be windy out, but I thought I need to get my hands in the dirt. I need to get some sand, right? I need to get my feet on the earth. I need to get grounded. I need to see the sun in my eyes. This stuff is so important, and this helps us to regulate. You know, think about an antenna, a cell phone tower, a satellite dish. This cell phone tower reaches very, very, very high, and it is sending out signals, but it's also receiving so much. Now, it goes high up, it's very open, it's receiving so much energy, but in order for it to be that high up and to be that strong and receptive, to deal with the winds and all of the environmental challenges, it has to have a really deep foundation. It has to have its feet planted firmly on the ground and its roots dug deep into the earth. And you have to be the same thing. There's so many reasons why you have this sensitivity. Growing up in a world that wasn't built for you, never quite fitting in, and having people tell you that either directly or indirectly. And I love that Yellow Orchids shares that she was in a tree today. Perfect way. You need to get outside, you need to get grounded, you need to get your feet on the ground. One of the reasons I didn't vibe with Cairo is because I didn't have enough natural green spaces. It could have even been a desert environment. It doesn't have to necessarily be green, but a natural space. I was missing natural space, natural energy, natural environments. And so that's why I stayed there for a few days. I ran a workshop or two, and then I left. And I came back to Sinai, to Dahab, where I feel much more at peace, much more calm. I can go for a swim. I can get my feet on the earth. And I recommend you do the same thing too. Look, I can't tell you all the solutions to the challenge of being sensitive. I can't tell you all the reasons today. But I will continue to share about this, so if you haven't already, subscribe and join us, because we need extra regulation. It's a nervous system that needs extra support, extra intentional regulation, extra grounding, extra care, extra self-care. We need that. I wish I could tell you otherwise. I wish I could tell you that you could just go about your day and never have to worry about your breath or about moving your body, or about stimulating your own dopamine system because your dopamine system needs it. I wish I could tell you that you didn't need to do those things, but you do. But the good news is that I'm here, and a lot of other people are here that are going through life learning the hard way how this stuff works and doing our best to share. And I bet you're like that too, because most likely your sensitivity has created a sense of sadness and weight, and a sense of justice, that you want things to be better. You know that they can be better. You know this world can be better. But unfortunately, not everybody feels it that way. So you probably want to do something about it. And if that's you, then you're in the right place. So stick around, because look, the world is going to be transformed by you and I, by the ADHD, neurodivergent minds, because we can feel the pain of this world more intensely than everyone else. We can feel the injustices, we can feel and suffer from the systems that have been created to herd us together and to domesticate us like animals that are harvested for our energy, for our soul. But we are 3 times more likely to be entrepreneurs. And so I bet you have ideas about businesses that you would like to build. Maybe don't have quite yet the focus and the productivity, but that's okay, because we can learn how to do that together. I'm going to enjoy my bare feet on the ground, the beautiful sand, and the gorgeous view. Signing off. Maybe you're heading to bed right now, but remember, get some rest, get up early, get some sunshine in your eyes, move your body, and move your body a lot through the day, because it's going to help your dopamine system. It's going to help you focus. I'll see you in the near future. Until next time, much love.